Sweeter. I do not consent. Okay.
Oh, we need to make the jam.
Yeah. I like
I
that,
do
Kyle.
not consent. Okay. Welcome to the Rockhound Podcast. This week we're going to have another pretty short episode and kind of in preparation for the New Year's. So, Karen, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, thank you everybody for coming by. Let us know where you're viewing from and who you are, and we love you anyway. I'm Karen from Ozone Fine Art Ventures out here on the Oregon coast where it's chilly. How about you, Kurt?
I'm out, or my name's Kurt, out in Western Colorado, and it's chilly as well here in Western Colorado. It's been snowing for about a week now, and haven't really been able to do much. So, what about you, Kyle?
I'm Kyle from World of Rockhounds, also from Oregon, and we had some snow. Just as cold, but the snow was melting away for the time being. It's cold all the way around.
Tonight.
Ollie, it's still cold.
No kidding.
Well, shout outs from last week.
Yeah, thanks for all the holiday well wishes, everybody. That was awesome. Merry to all of you in return, and hope you're all staying warm since we're all frozen out here. Rookie Rockhounding, aka Jesse, mega love back at you. I mean, he keeps on throwing it. We got to throw it back. Currently, Rockhounding reported that Santa didn't get the message about what he wanted for Christmas. You guys, he wanted an autographed picture of the podcast crew.
Oh,
well, we could still make that happen. It's just Santa Claus was a little behind on getting things out.
So he said that next year, if he's good, he might get it. And so, noted, Jared.
Oh, he's been good.
Definitely noted.
Yeah. Watch your mail. Yeah, guffaw. Blind Squirrel Rock said that well, we were expecting snow. We were talking about this last week in the podcast, that we were getting a bunch of snow between Kyle and I, and we actually did get snow here on the ground at the beach, which is always really super novel. They had 65 degrees out in central Indiana. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, doesn't that sound nice? So soak up some of that for all of us. And she also, when Urban Rockhounding said that this was a really good time of year. That sounds awesome. I'm not entirely sure what that all pretends, though. Like, what is urban rockhounding? Do you guys know?
Well, do you know that gravel that's in people's parking lots and urban areas?
Is that what that is?
The agates that
landscape rocks?
Yeah, all the agates that the machines seem to left in there.
Yeah.
Wait, Kurt, did you have a walk around about that at one point?
Yeah, when I first started my channel, I did a walk around the neighborhood, or I guess the backyard. But I've also walked around the neighborhood at nighttime with my black light because it just like pinpoints where the agates are. And
nice.
I've kind of snagged a couple.
Urban rockhounding. I like it. Okay. Thank you, Blind Squirrel and Kurt, for your tips. Betoge Designs said it was okay. So he or she wanted to best, I guess, Blind Squirrel Rocks because it was a record 84 in Houston for Christmas. And so that's double crazy.
I heard about that from my friend. He's like, because he has friends that live in Texas too, and he's like, yeah, they're like in the 80s. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, all of my family is there in Texas, and friends that I grew up with, and they were talking about how it was in the 80s, 90s on Christmas, and it's sounds so nice, but at the same time, I kind of prefer the cooler weather than 80s, 90s because you got to remember, like Texas, they have the humidity, and Houston area, it's extremely humid, and same thing with like Central Texas and so forth. I don't miss that at all. I love living in the dry desert.
Yeah, I like the dry heat and the dry cold, both of them. Yep,
Sam.
So true. And so also, I guess, Betoge Design met Tim McCrate, whom I mentioned last week. for the books pertaining wonderful jewelry design and metalsmithing and knife making and all that kind of
Oh
stuff.
wow.
Oh yeah, Tim McCrate, definitely
Nice.
check out that stuff. Yeah, met him and hung out with him. Awesome. Said that they were nice. So thank you for sharing that story. That was really cool. Mary Beth was working hard on gifts all the way up to Christmas Day, as well as I think most of us cut, polished, and set, but forgot the chains. And so she said that she slid into home base and made them just in time. That's the spirit. I know a lot of
Nice.
us were like burning some midnight oil. You Kurt?
Yep.
Yeah. When they know that they're going to get something like that from you, and you have to make it from scratch. Yeah.
Yep.
So
just means that much more.
yeah. You know, that it's so rewarding to make those gifts. I mean, I know you guys would agree that it's like just so cool that you can, I don't know, make something from scratch and have something, enjoy it, instead of having to go out and shop for something. Like, here's some more socks, you know, although I really like
'em.
getting socks.
As an adult, socks are good.
Socks are so
Very
good.
good.
I'm wearing Christmas
Especially in the
socks right
cold.
now. Yeah. Anyways, so Dustin, the artist formerly known as DeFiveston, acknowledged that his channel has in fact been upgraded.
It is now Dustin.
Yeah, with a double D for a double dose of rock hounding, he says. Love it, man. You heard it here, folks. So Jaws Jr. also was tumbling a bunch of obsidian for the holidays and hoping that the cold doesn't freeze his barrels. Do you guys have that problem? I don't tumble.
I don't tumble either.
I've tumbled outside. And I videoed like a 2-3 minute video talking about it, but I think I may have accidentally deleted it because like I showed in my barrel and where you could see like it was just frozen from tumbling outside. I wasn't paying attention how cold it was, and it actually was obsidian from Davis Creek and Glass Butte. But I'm having issues with getting an actual polish on it, so I'm looking on Facebook and maybe make a video on trying to get some tips from you guys. So
I don't tumble, but I do know that Jaws Jr. does, and he does a pretty darn good job of tumbling those bad boys.
Well, I'll have to contact him to get some tips.
Yeah. So check out what he's up to. He's got a few videos out there, I know, but otherwise, like, yeah, it's crazy to have to worry about your barrels freezing in the
Never
cold.
thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
It does. not to make sound tumble, but it does.
I've heard of people using antifreeze in their saws and stuff.
Yeah, I heard that too. I may have to try that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I've also thought about maybe just doing a test and seeing how it tumbles with like just using mineral oil, but I'm just kind of curious about that. But
ooh, even if it's just a partial, like if it's a you know, some increment of the overall wash would be really interesting. I bet you that would work, unless it got too viscous with the cold. I don't know. I don't know how that would work.
I'll figure it out.
Do it.
Trial and error.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
You can be the Einstein, you know, working out those experiments. So Julie Michelle from Ontario. I'm going to say it in some strange accent, apparently. Sandmaker from who knows where, Rock and Roll Rockhound, Greek explorers all the way out there in Greece. Hasu Andre, Claude and Kalgouli, Bob's Rock, Starlene, Silverback, Michael, and Cliff Walker from all the way out in BC. They were all in the house.
It was a big party.
Yep. It was a good time and a merry for all of us. Happy holidays for that. And so those are the shouts.
Thank you. So how was everyone's weeks and projects? Karen?
Well, my week, we went back out to Warm Springs Reservoir just because of the name, just to get warm. But only like virtually. I dropped the video, and there's actually another 2 videos being edited right now. So I did promise like some kind of a spam situation through the holidays. I'm trying to drop videos like bombs. And so there's 2 more coming. Watch for at least 1, if not 2 of them coming up this weekend. And then because I'm out from under all of those Christmas obligations, I can get to some other polishing and cutting that I wanted to do. And so we've got some of the Warm Spring stuff, but also cutting from a bunch of other places. I'm even working on some of the stuff that Kurt, you sent me a while
Nice.
back. I'm just, yeah.
If you make videos, let me know so I can watch.
Finally getting to some of the fun stuff. I'm like looking down at it actually right now. It's so hard to stop. And so there was snow on the coast, so I had to take the dogs out to romp around in it. It was the first snow experience that Ochiko, the pup, had. And so he was absolutely not sure about it. He kept on trying to attack the snowflakes as they were falling onto his like skin. He was like, whoa, what's this? And I do have some video ops from that as we were taking a hike, and that would hopefully be in one of the upcoming videos that happens this weekend. That is how that this week has been for me. How about you, Kurt?
Well, this week has been just cold and snowy, and haven't really been able to get out, do any rock hounding or cutting or polishing or anything of the sort. So I've just been kind of inside wire wrapping, and for a future project, either this week or next week, I'll be putting out a video where I'm using a single strand of wire wrap, and I'll show 2 real quick.
Can't wait to see that.
It's just
Cows.
2
Nice.
very, very, very simple wraps that take only like 2-3 minutes. And so I've been trying to focus on figuring that method out. And I also sold my first pendant on Etsy just before Christmas. I've sold some on Facebook, but not on Etsy. So it's a celebration that got an Etsy purchase, and currently having an Etsy sale to kind of like 20% off all my pendants.
Link is in the description.
Yes, link is in the description. And so I'm hoping I get some more. I'm gonna have a sale like up until New Year's, and then from the first week of New Year's as well.
Nice.
So I'm trying to get some of those sold and get some new ones put on. And then as soon as there's some nice weather outside, I'm gonna do some cutting on some rocks. And I have some cool ideas of other types of jewelry to make. So that'll be fun. And also I'm going to, I haven't really said this on my channel yet, but I'm going to kind of take a step back a little bit through January to February for fall. Instead of doing like full videos every week, I'm gonna do like a full video one week, and then like a short video, like a shorts minute long video, and then a full video, just kind of taking a step back a little bit, because especially with the new year and trying to get other things done. So that's pretty much what's going on here. Yeah,
YouTube's hard work.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
It's not as easy as just uploading a video. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
It's like take an hour or 2 hour long video, and then like work hours to like condense it down to like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Sometimes days.
Yeah, or days like Karen.
Yeah.
And then when you try uploading it, if it doesn't upload properly and it gets stuck on the upload process, then you got to cancel it, delete it, and redo the upload. Then it takes even more days. And that's when the videos come out late.
Yep. I think we've actually had that happen at least once on the podcast channel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Where I uploaded it the night before, because I always do the editing the day before. Wake up in the morning and see that something went wrong, and I'm like, oh gosh. So I had to upload again. Of course, it takes a couple hours, and then Karen has to do the thumbnail. So it's like trying to really struggle to get everything in.
Yeah, I'm like watching it all. Like, I need to set the premiere And so that's my job. And I'm like watching it, like, are you ready yet? Are we gonna go? Do we go today? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's drama, people. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Unless you do. And then you do.
But
So,
yeah, anything
Kyle?
else? Oh,
No.
me? Okay.
Yeah, your turn.
I'm getting back into some customer projects. I just kind of took a step back from those for a couple weeks for the holidays and just take a deep breath. But getting back into those to hopefully get them done before the end of January, so I can start focusing on my stuff. But other than that, I don't really have a whole lot of stuff going on at the shop, to be honest. I mean, I made a cool little planter today for my work, a little succulent planter. I just added some rocks in this decoration. I was gonna make a post on it, before and after, just to tell people it's like you don't always have to cut and polish your rocks. You can just put rough rock in some containers for flowers or succulents, and it's decoration.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the easiest work that you can do. Just take a rough rock, as long as it's clean, and boop, you're done.
Little dabble, do you?
Yep. So that's gonna do it for my week. Not really a lot going on, but we can get into kind of more of the community stuff that we wanted to do. We did find out, sadly, over the weekend, on Christmas Eve, a fellow community member, Lamar Harlem, had passed away. He has the YouTube channel New York Rockheads. He also goes by Doc Druzy. But he had sadly passed away on Christmas Eve, and we just want to kind of send our thoughts and our prayers to his friends and family that have gone through that loss. So, just a moment of silence. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Lamar, like, I've had a few conversations with him, and he is a really cool guy. He brought kind of like a new angle to the rockhounding community here on YouTube, and kind of put out some interesting new videos on like how to shop as a rockhound and everything. And he was a really cool guy. So
he also had his own Facebook groups too.
Mm-hmm.
He did like Mineral of the Day, so that was really cool. But
that was really cool.
I mean, if you go on, if anyone is actually friends with him and you check out his Facebook page, like he has a lot of love from everyone, and so I think we are going to be missing a really good person in the community.
Definitely.
But so going from that, we're going to be doing things a little bit different today. We're going to be actually, Karen, do you want to explain this a little bit better?
Yeah. So, being is that this is the year's end and we incepted the podcast this year, we thought that we'd do a few highlights. Now, by no means is this like an exhaustive overview of what we thought the highlights were. It's impossible to achieve that. So we're just going over a few memorable moments, and there's going to be more. Of course, we have our anniversary coming up, and you have to know that every moment of the podcast has been an absolute pleasure to do, and every single guest has been an honor and a blast to have on the podcast. And so as we go along, hopefully we can do a bunch of highlights, because it's impossible to just choose a few. But that being said, we have chosen a few. And so do we want to start off with Theo's clips?
My mic was muted.
Yes, it was.
Gonna say, your mouth is moving, but I don't hear anything.
I don't hear you saying.
Yeah, we can start with Theo's. So, Theo, what you got?
Hey everybody, I've got my crazy hair going. Deuce, please don't yell at me. So, yeah, picking my favorite clip from the year was just way too hard, because there have been just endless fantastic moments to choose from. So yeah, it was almost impossible for me to narrow it down to one. We should have done 6 or 7 and just said, whatever, let's do a 6-hour video. But anyway, though, I picked these clips because it was just so much fun. I mean, all of the podcasts are fun, but Rookie is a very close friend of mine, and I don't get to speak face-to-face with him very often, and I've always wanted to get to talk to Pauly, and yeah, we were all just in a mood. Every one of us was in a mode, and it was hilarious. It was so much fun. But yeah, here's the clips I chose. Deuce, why are you screaming at me?
So that was the one where we found that bit of blue where we chiseled it out. of the rock. Yeah, that was.
I climbed up on top of this massive boulder to get to the next section. Jess is still down the bottom. We know you're up top still. And I'm like, oh, look at that. And Jess has gone back down, shoulder deep in water, and pulled out this big chunk and gone, here you go.
Beard deep in water.
Oh,
I'm looking up.
Never been beard deep in water.
You say beard deep?
Beard
we have so much fun.
Yeah.
There's no I don't know how to say it. We just get on so well and we have so much fun.
3 very different personalities, but it worked. Like, we got one of the best gems I found is Pauly. I'm not just blowing smoke up here. But honestly, like
collective group,
it really is. Like, Benny's my brother-in-law. I'm stoked that he ended up liking rockhounding and didn't think I was a weirdo, because it's great. But then there's a dynamic in a group, like being in a band or something like that. It just works. Benny's full of banter, so is Pauly equally. I'm full of just ADD staring at squirrels if we had them. It works. It's such a good day. Like, being out in nature rejuvenates you, but hanging out with them in nature, finding rocks is rejuvenating as well.
Lapidary is a very trial and error, and sometimes mostly error process.
And sometimes tragic.
Yep.
Yeah.
I said to someone the other day, I said, one of my best traits is problem solving, because I make so many problems.
Oh.
Like, I am always doing things the wrong way. I am, I'm not. Yeah. We get there, though.
I had a brief moment. I forgot you guys were in the same room, so I'm like, oh, that's right.
What is that hand? Yeah.
Who is that? This doesn't have to get edited tonight. I can send you pictures, Kyle.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Well, well, because I'm so trained with the habit of, okay, I have any pictures that get put in, I have to have tonight, the night of the podcast. Otherwise, I can't put them in. But yeah, I'll just, okay. So tomorrow I will get you a picture of that. I've cut one agate this dark before, and
Cat-eating cut.
They are just insane. The
Good
bands
question.
and the moss. What? Sorry.
What's the cat-eating cut?
The what? Oh,
I can't see her on my screen.
Looks like she's eating rocks.
Yeah, green fluorite.
Well, thank you, Theo, for your pick, and it's always a good time.
Well, that was the inception of aww.
Aww.
Like, that was literally where that started, I think. And then the brown fluorite was always memorable as well.
Yeah.
And Kurt's wonderful kitties.
Always. Yep. So, Karen, you're next.
Okay. My clips choice, Amberscape or Yarrick. One thing, it's international, and we love everybody here in the States, but it's so interesting to hear how people do their rock hounding in other places, and especially interesting to hear somebody who does their rock hounding with a net. Like, you're fishing in the sea, the Baltic. That's amazing. So also the blend between a fossil and a gemstone, bugs that are between 35 and 49 million years old. That's just, can't beat that with a stick. And so we have the first clip is within the first 10 minutes, it has blown our podcast minds because he's showing us these amazing corals.
I was trying that before. Like, the first thing, I got like the right calcium amount in the fossil, and it turned out great. It was actually really rare example of the chain coral, the Exilis, the name, and it was really pretty. So I was like all confident, throw another one into vinegar, then I pull it out like, wow, where is the coral? What happened here? Like a crime scene. Yeah, but this time I will be on the watch, I will be checking each 5 minutes, and if nothing wrong is happening, then I can go easy.
Yeah, when you see too many bubbles, man, cut it off.
Yeah, and they look like this, unprepped. This is one of them.
Oh my gosh.
There's another of them.
Be sure
Those are amazing.
be sure to send me a picture of that so I can put that in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
no problem.
he'll throw the big shot.
That's
Nice.
so cool.
Okay. Best intro ever.
Right?
That was
I'll also
awesome.
send you the prepped one, how it looks like after.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah.
There's also one secret
And the next one, it's always interesting to hear why somebody gets into their niche of rock hounding in the first place. And so I always have to ask that question, and he fills us in on that. How did you get into the amber thing in the first place? Would you illuminate how you decided to get into hunting the amber and then making your channel?
That story would start pretty early, because as a kid, I found some small pieces that was really shiny on the beach. And since then, like from the age of like 4 or 5, I was in love with it. And then I started my hunting at the age of 6 or 7. And it was actually tree raising that was still in the trees. I was calling it amber, but it's kind of is just not fossilized, But to be more serious, when I started doing it properly, it was just 1.5 years ago. And I once again found a piece of amber on the beach, and it had tiny ant in it. I found a guide how to polish stones. I polished one side. I was seeing the ant clearly, and that was the moment of realization. I started looking for the content on the YouTube about amber. There was non-existent. There was some jewelry related, and basically no huntings, no nothing. And I was like, heck, I'll do it myself.
We're so glad that you did.
Yeah, seriously.
And then his show and tell was absolutely incredible. He just kept bringing us out more and more to see, the buggy pieces that he had already polished, and then there were rough pieces where there might be a spider in here or whatever. It just kind of like consecutively had our minds blown for the entire however many hour podcast that was. And we were doing that in the middle of the night. We were meeting him in the morning. We were doing the
that was
late
one
nighter.
episode I wish I did not miss.
You know what? We have to get Yarek, if you're available. We got to get you back on the podcast so that we can hang out with Kurt and you and hear about the most recent spoils.
Yes,
that was a significant event for us, for sure.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, he also posts a lot of stuff on Instagram too. A lot of the close-up shots, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can show you a few of them.
There we go.
Oh, still so shiny.
I'll take them both. Thank you.
Both of them have insects inside. This one has two caddisflies. This one have around 10 inclusions. Beetles, flies, spiders. And you can see it from here. It has even coprolite.
Look, we're trying to get closer.
I know, like all three of us are like, that is so cool.
Oh.
Yeah, be sure to send a lot of pictures. That way we can get them. I can put them in. And
I'm on the wrong shore,
Right? I know.
I want those.
That is some raw amber in comparison to this, how it looked like before, possibly. Give me a second.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, the pieces that, kind of like how a fossil plate has several different things on it, you might have some different kind of leaves, or you've got some crinoids or whatever. The fact that like one piece of amber can contain the beetle and a, spider and all those different things, like that would just blow my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So, look at the difference. This one is raw.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
But it will be absolutely gorgeous because he has this honey color inside.
Wow. Yeah.
That is so cool.
That's just like pure faith, that like faith in your polishing skills so that you can kind
Yeah,
of
like
birth
some
that
white
baby out of
amber.
there.
Like this one, it will be whitish after polishing.
Wow.
Doesn't
Dang.
look like much on polish. This one is more like crystally.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
That's one thing I've not polished yet before is amber, and because the amber that I had bought from a friend of mine, he said that it can be very tricky to work because if it gets too hot, then it just
Melts.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I that the only time I've ever cut amber, I was using a cutoff wheel on my Dremel, on my rotary tool, and I had red amber, and I just wanted to cut the end off so that I could try to make a cabochon because this was before I knew how soft it was. Probably wouldn't make the best ring. It would probably make it like a week or two before it's not usable anymore. So this is like, first year of doing rock stuff. And yeah, I started cutting on it, and then it just started flinging like strings,
Wow.
like little strings, because it would melt the amber, and then as it flung off the rotary wheel, it would recool from
Yeah.
the air. So yeah, I had like little strands, like almost like hair.
Theo was making
amber.
taffy.
I
So
was.
nice.
It was so cool. Amber taffy. I never did actually
Taffy
try
color.
polishing the thing, so I was like, what the heck?
Wow. Yeah. Total folly.
This
Yeah.
one is from the cherry tree. It's also amber, but it has this resin from the cherry-like tree. It will be absolutely red inside.
Wow.
That is so cool.
Oh,
And this one is just like transparent one, which may contain insects, and this one may also contain insects.
So
I
how
went
how do
before
you not
polishing.
how do you not stay up all night and just polish them all?
Yeah, it's not that easy for me. I don't have this, high-grade equipment. I have only Dremel, and Dremeling takes me a long time to make. And I don't have that many pieces with insects, so basically I'm keeping them for the videos.
I gotcha. Yeah. I feel that.
Not that many. I have. Let's see. How do I show you this? All of these are with the insects. Can you see it?
Oh wow.
That seems like
Wow.
plenty.
Yeah, sure. It's like I got some over time. Like, there's plenty of them. And I keep this in the water. Oh, this will be nice. Oh yeah, I see a spider in this one.
That is so cool.
Seriously, we're taking a field trip out.
I know.
Podcast field trip. Let's go.
Like, look, this one. This doesn't have insect, but this one has a branch in it.
That's
Tiny branch.
cool.
That is so
Be still my
amazing.
heart. That is cool. Wow. I want the branch.
I keep those.
Yeah. A lot of research and a lot of science and a lot of technique as far as being able to shoot those insects in the amber. All of the layers, we talked about that in the podcast. Link is in the description, sure. That you can see these incredible things like that are millions of years, practically come to life. It's really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And when you get said amber from Yarrick yourself, yeah. that's
Okay,
cool.
so the very last clip that I shared, he was talking about a piece of wood that was in the amber, and he did send that to me. And he said that there were no, I was like, I want that one. I didn't think he would actually send it. And he did. I was just being a baby. But he said that there weren't any insects in it, and that it turned out that I found 2 mites so far, and I'm still working with the piece, and so we'll see what else is in there. Thank you, Yarrick. We'll have you back on.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that episode.
Yeah.
And then you had one more mention that you would like to bring up.
Do we have Kurtz? Did we already do Kurtz?
No, we can get BJ in there unless you want to do BJ's last.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we were doing.
Okay, here we can do that. Kurt, what do you got?
So the episode that I chose was episode 15 with Caitlin Ahrens from NASA over in Maryland, NASA Center, I think is where it is. But she, the first 5 minutes, I asked a question about what new mineral, or if there's been any new discoveries of minerals or rocks or anything that were cool. And there was actually 2 that were recently found on a meteorite that crashed into Mars, and that's how they found the 2 new minerals. And then the last, I think, 7 minutes or 5 minutes or so is Theo's question about what cool gemstones that are similar to Earth's geology, I guess, and so forth. And the reason why that one is kind of like a highlighted one that stood out to me is just because whenever we first got the podcast together, like she reached out, I think after like episode 7, and was like, I'm with NASA. Would you like me to come on and talk about Mars? And that was just like so freaking cool. And I was pumped for that episode to come up. And it was just an awesome episode. And but it was really hard to choose which episode to choose from, because there's been so many great stories and Rockhound.Adventures and everything through all the episodes. So so this is the episode that I chose. I was wondering if there has been any new recent discoveries as far as new minerals or rocks found on Mars.
Excellent question, and the answer is yes. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I was actually at a Mars conference. Lo and behold, yes, we do have planetary conferences across the world. And so this one was a Mars conference out at Caltech, and they brought us all into the auditorium, and like we have this announcement before public release, and you Martians are gonna hear the news. And we had discovered 2 new minerals on Mars. At the time using try to compare it to rover data, but we actually found it in Martian meteorites, and never before seen on Earth, completely different chemical compositions, and we still don't know how to even recreate it in the laboratory setting. So it's completely fascinating that we found 2 new minerals on another planet that just happened to land here on a meteorite. Crack it open, look through a microscope and go, well, that's weird. So one is called Tisentite and the other one is called Erenzite.
It's probably spelled with a TS, right? I'm assuming.
Tisentite?
Yeah.
Tissinite.
I mentioned it's like spelled with like a TS for some reason. I don't know why.
Tisentite, and then Erenzite is easy because it's my last name, Ahrens, and then ITE.
Oh, nice.
But I was not the Ahrens.
I was going to ask, did you get to?
What? That is awesome.
It's like the pay dirt for everyone.
It was very awkward walking through the conference and people see my name tag with Ahrens and they're like, oh. And I'm like, I probably would be like completely distantly related to the Ahrens that it was named after, but no, not me personally. Nope. Life goals though, we'll see.
Yeah.
I have actually named stuff in space though, so that has
nice.
Actually been an achievement.
Totally counts. Yeah,
it counts.
on the list.
I have 5 things named in space so far, so
Congratulations. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, naming things in space is much harder than people come to realize though. But I have a dune field on Mars. Disclosure here is that they're completely there's rules to naming things in space, so I can't just name it after my cat or something like that. I can't name it after myself either. So there's rules. There's a 90-page PDF rule book that we have to abide by of naming things in space.
It's the government.
Actually, no, that's the fun part. There's a whole committee. There's an international committee specifically for the Planetary Nomenclature Committee. So they are completely an international entity for the purpose of making sure we can name things properly in space and not name them after your cat.
Or like some TM, product. Like Coca-Cola
Exactly.
fields. Like,
This
whatever.
dune is sponsored by McDonald's.
Yeah.
This crater impact sponsored by Taco Bell. Look at that.
What's that over there? Oh, it's the Gnome Plateau. Oh man,
Yeah,
I'd probably get in trouble quite a bit.
The paperwork is awful though. Just oh goodness, but it's been well worth it. I've named quite a bit of stuff on Pluto, including a very large glacier on Pluto too. So very excited about that.
That is so cool.
I would have named it Titanic.
A sinking glacier.
Oh, that's dark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, too soon.
Too soon. Theo,
But for all you nerds out there, the Pluto's moon Charon has a very dark pole, and we named it Mordor. So if there's any Lord of the Rings fans out there, there is now Mordor in space.
That makes me so happy.
There's a lot of
Hilarious.
nerd stuff that we have up in space.
Oh,
A lot.
I feel like I'm in the wrong field.
Join the dark
Yeah,
Life
the dark
wasted.
side.
So, Theo, what questions you got?
So me being the rock nerd that I am, and as into jewelry making and faceting and cabbing and slabbing and all that good stuff, how is gemology is like being one of my big interests is how is that comparable on Mars to Earth? Like, is there actually like gemstones as we know them on Mars, like agate, for example? I don't know if the geology would be right for agate to form, or if we would even know that, or like opals or something like that.
So I'm going to go with yes and no.
Okay.
So unfortunately, agates cannot form at Martian conditions.
Okay.
Agates, you would need a very specific pressure and water.
Right.
Mars did have water, but not the correct pressure conditions to do agate, unfortunately, though. But the exciting part that we have found is that there are not only opal on Mars, but there's actually opal fields on Mars. So there's actually very specific. Yes. And I even sent you a picture of one of the opal fields. So we actually call this one of the crowning jewels of Mars. This is Noctis Labyrinthus. So this is near Dallas Marineris, that really big scar across Mars. That's actually where the most pretty gemstones would be to cave for on Mars. That's where most of what we thought may have had a really beautiful mixture of not only water, but also basalt and a lot of volcanic rocks as well. So you're not only having opal at the time when Mars had water, you could also have salt fields as well. There's gypsum fields on Mars. So those do some really cool, weird types of geology. I also sent you a picture of Ias Chasma. So it looks very squiggly looking, and that's actually all the gypsum and the salt interacting with the rock, and it makes all the really cool, pretty patterns.
That is so cool.
It's gorgeous. And another cool thing too is that olivine as well. There's a lot of olivine because of all the lava, all the volcanics that would have come out to it. Now, whether it's considered gem quality, maybe not. It would be really quite tiny. But who knows? We haven't really dug deep, though. There may be bugs, for all we know, that of material. We just don't know yet. A rover can only do so much.
Right.
So, we keep building more, bigger, powerful, stronger rovers, but they can only take so much as far as rocks go. Once we start sending astronauts to Mars, you better send up a geologist, and they're going to pick out all the rocks.
Right. Exactly.
You gotta send a Rockhound too. Like,
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's doomed. Like the thing would never get back. It would be too heavy. Like
Oh, nonsense. World
just
is a
one
way,
more.
there's
It's
a way.
like just one more,
that,
like
that would certainly be the
sandwiches.
tragedy, right? Like, I want to keep all the rocks. Why can't I take this one home?
There are no leverites.
Right? Pretty much.
But another cool thing about Mars that we found out that there was water on Mars is what we have here on Earth are the Moki balls.
Yes.
Yeah, the iron concretions, we have them on Mars, all over the place. We actually call them Martian blueberries, which is another picture I had sent you
I
earlier.
love that.
So we call them blueberries because our spectrometers are very special cameras that hone in on the infrared wavelength of rocks. Because we can look at a rock and go, yep, it's brown rock, cool. But a spectrometer hones in on the infrared signatures of rocks, so they can look purple, they can look green, they can look pink, they can look yellow. Every mineral has its own different like color combination, and hematite shows up very blue to the spectrometer. So we call them blueberries because they look like little blueberries on Mars. But
so cool.
You don't want to eat them.
Yes.
If Jared was here, he'd be like, "Don't lick rocks, don't lick blueberries."
Totally.
I'm drinking it with my tang. Awesome. Yeah,
Oh, thank you for picking that out, Kurt.
that was amazing.
And oddly enough, my memorable moment is also from the same episode.
Same video.
Get this more towards the end. So my thing has always been, growing up, Pluto has always been a planet, and as an adult, it became a point where like, oh, Pluto's not really a planet anymore. I'm like, that's a bunch of malarkey. Pluto's a planet. I don't care what you say. So thank you, Dr. Caitlin, for confirming that Pluto is a planet. I'm going to put that in right now.
Okay, my word of wisdom is that Pluto is still a planet.
Boom.
There. Boom. There we go.
You heard it straight from NASA.
Well, I was telling Kyle earlier, is Pluto plays by its own rules. So go be Pluto.
Oh, I like that.
That's so much better than mine.
Oh wow, we need that shirt. That's a shirt.
Go be Pluto.
Be more
Yeah.
like Pluto.
I was telling Kyle that's pretty much how the whole reclassification thing came about. Is the Mercury all the way out to Neptune kind of plays on the same soccer field, and Pluto comes in and decides to play water polo in the middle of the soccer field. It's just kind of like, what's up? I'm here. So
Yeah.
what if
Get
I
rid
have
of
a
me.
different orbit? What are you gonna do about it? So go be
Man, I
Pluto.
kind of like Pluto now.
Yes.
Yeah.
More Pluto people, yes.
Pluto's a planet.
Definitely is.
Be like Pluto.
Be like Pluto.
I love that. I
T-shirt
need the
quality.
shirt. I want the T-shirt.
But it really is difficult to pick like a memorable moment when we've had 41 different videos. We've actually had a couple, viewer specials and some collaborations of like different clips. It's super hard to really pick just one or just a couple because they're all fabulous moments from all the different channels, the different guests. It's difficult. But I did want to make a couple mentions in addition to my short clip that I picked out. And that is episode 10, when Theo became an official podcast host here on the channel. So just that the whole episode itself, when he became official one of us, that's my honorable mention, as well as
That was memorable.
it was.
Definitely.
Especially when I messed up like
Hey, will you stay?
well, especially when like just starting off the podcast, like I just like slipped and it was like just tumbled with my words. I'm like, oh god. But aside from that, my other mention is the Thanksgiving special that we did. That was an awesome collaboration between all the other channels that were out there. And to get that many people involved in what I thought was going to be a small little project turned out to be a pretty big project. It was fun to do, and I hope that next year maybe we can get even twice as many. It might mean more work for me, but it was fun to do.
Yeah,
And
It was. It turned out way better than I was expecting, and I, like you said, I wasn't expecting to have so many channels respond to your idea. So
that was so
it was
cool.
it was a great idea.
yeah, I think next time I might be reaching out a little bit further out to give me some more time for editing. But it was really fun, and I can't really express it enough that this podcast is more about community than it is about us. Like, yeah, we all have our own channels, but we're not here to promote our channels. We're here to actually hang out and
have a good time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Talk rocks.
Talk rocks, and yeah.
Like another kind of runner-up currently rockhounding, Jared, he's like mentioned or turned up in so many of our podcasts, and we so appreciate him. And of course the memory of Rockhounding Life's like his claw, that's one of my very, very favorite moments. And hearing about ski-doos and cliff sides and stuff like that is just like 100% awesome. And then I think another memorable moment was BJ, when he was talking, Gravel Bar Hopper was talking about how this whole rock hounding thing on the podcast had changed his life, and how his recovery had been greatly influenced by his rock hounding and being able to make videos. That was so deeply moving to me.
But yeah, man, me getting into rock hounding as much as I've always loved rocks my entire life. But my younger self and into my 20s wasn't really the best person. Like, I hung around the wrong people. I got into the drugs and all that stuff like that. And to finally be able to get sober and stuff, I had to find something to kind of fill that hole that I had. And rock hounding was the thing. And it's been 5, 6, 7 years of being clean and staying.
Congrats.
Anytime I get bored, awesome. I'm in the rocks.
That's awesome. Congratulations, bro.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
a very positive way to take that hobby. So congratulations on that.
And then all of a sudden, it just seems like everybody tells me, "Man, BJ, I think you found your niche. I think you found what you're supposed to do." And I really think I have.
Yeah,
because my YouTube channel, everything that's come up good in my life ever since then has all had to do with my rock hounding and my YouTube channel. So yeah, everything definitely came out for the better.
It's incredible to be a part of this community and hearing these stories and being able to give them a platform on the podcast. And so that's my feeling about it. How about you, Kurt?
Whenever we started the podcast, there's one thing where we were able to communicate with other channels on Instagram or Facebook, typing it out, but being able to see you on camera, even though it's not face to face, but it's close enough face to face, and just being able to actually just talk with you, and even the after hours when we are not filming for the podcast, we've had even more great conversations off camera, and just all of the people that we've had on, I'm just super thankful that you took the time to come on here and talk with us. I can't really pinpoint certain people and so forth, but I'm just super thankful for all of you guys that took the time to come on here and talk with us.
Boy, that is really well said.
Yep, couldn't have said it better myself.
Nope.
Because we've had a lot of long chats after we stopped recording.
Before and the afters,
some
oftentimes
go 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, it's happened. So good.
But thank you both for your picks, and It'd be nice to kind of hear from our viewers on what you think your favorite picks are, or your most memorable picks through any of our podcasts, either in the description or in chat. Let us know. We'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are.
Also, quick, I don't know if you want to take it out, but
I'll leave it.
If not, what do
Probably
you
a lot of
guys think
edits.
about? Yeah, like, what do you guys think if, like, maybe when we hit like 1,000 subscribers as like a giveaway, maybe we could bring a viewer on to the podcast and we talk with them about like their day and like their trips they've gone on, and like bring the viewers in on the podcast, even though they don't have a channel or anything of the sort.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I also thought that it would be good for us to, I think you missed this one, for us to go live at some point for one of these podcasts coming up where we can involve the people in the chat like in real time.
Yep.
You know,
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be good for the podcast.
That'd be actually really good to have multiple of us on, you know, Jesse, Jared,
Yes.
just a bunch of people on here. That way, when we bring a viewer on, they can ask their questions to whoever they want to talk to.
Yeah.
It'd be like a live,
brilliant.
Yeah, live Q&A.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Perfect.
What? That happened
Exactly.
here just now, folks.
You heard it here.
We'll have to do that.
So, I think that kind of wraps up our memorable moments. We didn't really have any show and tell planned because that kind of was, I guess, our kind of little show and tell. But now we can get into words of wisdom, unless Karen, you had anything else that you would like to add on.
No, words of wisdom sounds good. Mine definitely put your mind to it and do it. So we went from no podcast to episode 41, and we weren't even, you know, like, I don't know about you two, but I wasn't friends with all y'all like last year.
No.
Yeah.
This is all new, and all of the people out there and all these connections that have been made, you know, this year. And we kind of like came up with this idea to do this podcast thing, and all of a sudden we were kind of like just
here we are.
Yeah. You know, we're just gonna do it. And so I think that with some focus and doing, you know, so many things can happen. Next year we have like so many opportunities to fill in from where we've started this year. And I think that if you put your mind to it and you do it, you know, like, look at the spoils. And so yeah, it's been it's been an amazing year. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have next year to kind of see where it takes us. Kurt, what do you got?
Well, I just want to say, like, I like how you were saying, like, we didn't know each other really last year or whatnot. Like, I'm thankful that we were able to come together and create this podcast for the community.
Me too.
Like, I knew Kyle a little bit from his channel, but only because Jared from the Rockhounding recommended him on his channel, and then I think YouTube recommended me to check out your art, the videos that you were doing of some paintings and so forth. So I'm really thankful that, like, yeah. So it's all worked out really cool. But my words of wisdom, I don't really have anything for ending the year, but maybe I'll have something next week going into the new year. But pretty much mine is with the cold weather that has moved in. Like, you don't know if it's like just be prepared when you leave your house. Make sure you got some extra blankets in the car or truck, cans of food. If you have a jumper kit, throw that in your car, because I've gone out rock hounding, gone out places where the cold just kills your battery, and it's just good to have, like, especially if you're not in service, Just be prepared when you leave your house, especially with the cold temperatures that are moving in this winter season. So, yeah, that's pretty much mine.
That's a good one. Safety first. That comes back down to me. My words of wisdom kind of revolves around New Year's resolutions. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have probably made resolutions last year for 2021, and either you successfully accomplished those resolutions or not. Don't let it bring you down, because things happen that are beyond your control or even with your control. It's okay. You can start over. It's a new year. You can just take whatever you didn't do last year and throw it at this next year. If you want to lose 50 pounds and you only got 25, hey, you only have to lose 25 for this next year.
There you go.
You don't have. I'm really bad about making resolutions and goals because I understand that things happen. So take this opportunity to think about a realistic resolution, either picking up where you left off this last year or making a new one. Make it something easy, or even have a list of easy things. That way you can just take one list or take one item off the list. You can even have 12 small resolutions throughout the entire year. Do one a month. And when you do that resolution, you can mark it off and be like, oh, that's a nice little dose of, what was it, like serotonin or whatever
Dopamine.
it is? Yeah, dopamine.
It's dopamine.
Dopamine. But yeah, just take baby steps, make small goals, because those are a lot more achievable than big ones. I mean, you make big ones too, but don't be bummed out if you can't make it, because things happen. It's not a big deal. Yeah, that's mine.
Nice. I like that.
I like it too.
Anything else that you two would like to add on before Karen takes
Hey,
it up?
if you guys have any New Year's resolutions that you want to share with us, that would be super cool to hear in the chat or in the comments, if whichever is appropriate. Yeah, it would be fun to hear what you guys have in store for you next year. Share it with us. And yeah, either of you guys have anything?
I just hope you guys have a happy new year. Stay safe if you're out traveling.
Yep.
Stand maker.
Right. Wherever you are.
Wherever you are.
Wherever the road takes them. As long as there's a nice camping spot.
All right, a good RV spot that has coverage so that he can, be on the interwebs.
Yep. So, thank you both for your picks and for everything else in this nice little podcast today. Karen, if you'd be so kind to take us out.
Absolutely.
For the last time through this year.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, no pressure.
No pressure.
For one thing, thank all of you for your support throughout this year. We would not be here if you didn't come and hang out with us. We're nowhere without you guys. So thank you. Join us for all of the rock banter all week in between podcasts on our Discord server. Get an invite by emailing us. The Addy or the link is in the description. And then you can send us your favorite finds to that same email. And we'll put them on our next viewer show and tell for next year. That'll be coming up. Something to look forward to in the new year. But most importantly, keep finding and rock on and have a very, very safe, happy, and healthy new year from all of us.
Yeah. See you next year and rock on.